Geometry box. Now you're probably thinking, geometry box? Don't you mean Geometry Dash? I thought you were a Geometry Dash YouTuber. Well, yes, but actually no. Now, if you're really curious on what Geometry Box is, I linked a video in the description below, made by the creator of the game, where he gives a detailed look at what this game is, how he made it, and so on. With that out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the history of speedrunning Geometry Box. More specifically, the 80% random seed category. Now before we get into the speedrunning history, I'll give you a quick tutorial on how to beat Geometry Box in a quick and timely manner. Alright, well, with that out of the way, let's just get into it. On June 3rd, 2 days after the game was released, a runner that goes by the name of Painted Wolf finished Geometry Box with a time of 32:46. It was the first speedrun to have ever been completed with video evidence. The run was pretty slow and lacking, having lots of pauses and not so optimizable movements, but because he speedran the game at a really early time, strategies weren't yet discovered, so the run was considered appropriate. Soon after the run was completed and submitted onto speedrun.com, a runner going by the name of Crispy Crep would take the world record with a time of 30:19. Crep has since then deleted that run's video footage, so no game analysis can be input. In a single day, these two will be claiming world records one at a time, only to be beaten an hour or so later by the other competitor, with the time slightly lower than the previous one. And on June 4th, a day after Painted Wolf got his first speedrun done, Crep got a 19:04 in his speedrun, breaking the sub 20, winning the battle. After his sub 20 was achieved, Painted Wolf had stopped attempting runs and had disappeared into the void. So Crep did one final run on the same day with a 17:26. Comparing this to the first speedrun made by Painted Wolf, it was obvious speedrunning the game had major improvements for optimization and movement. Time was shaved up by at least 12 minutes to not even a day, and more time could still be improved. After seeing all this action, it was time I gave this game a shot. I started doing world record attempts on the 4th, finishing my first run with not a good time. We don't talk about these. My first real run was finished and submitted on June 6th with a time of 17:10, beating the world record by 16 seconds. Looking back at these runs, I obviously had a lot to improve on, but at that time, I felt pretty good, as this was the first world record I ever had in my life. Yeah, I know, I'm not joking, like, yeah, my life has been quite unproductive. Although it was a good run at that time, I felt like it could be improved much better, so I decided to keep on going and maintain my first place in Geometry Box speedrunning. I was pretty much dominating, breaking sub 16 all the way to sub 11 in a matter of days, getting world record after world record, shaving off at least 2 or close to a minute after each finished run, and doing better at movement and optimization. There was no close competition, despite a few runners being a bit close to my time, but not really. I was beginning to stop speedrunning this game, as I had no motive to continue. But competition came, and oh boy, was it tense. Now the legacy started pretty late into the game, and by late I mean like 2 weeks, but in terms of how long the speedrunning competition lasted, it was pretty late. He submitted his first run on the 16th of June with a time of 22:08. His earlier runs weren't as good as the runs he does right now, but like all other runners, including me, they had to start off somewhere. Now you may be asking, what's so special about this guy? He seems like a normal speedrunner to me. Well, the day after his first run, he gets a 14:45, a huge time improvement compared to his previous run, completely skipping the 18 to 16 minute range. At this point, I was pretty impressed, and concerned at the same time, as I thought he was going to beat my world record in no time. It reminds me of the PewDiePie vs T-Series battle, where I am PewDiePie in this scenario and bLegacy is T-Series. While I'm slowly climbing up the charts, bLegacy comes out of nowhere and approaches me at an exponential rate. And then, 2 days later, he came out with yet another run. 2 days after completing his sub 15 run, he completed yet another run that was a huge time improvement, getting a 13:02, which was really close to my world record, which at that time was a 12:41. I officially concluded that I had my first and last competitor, bLegacy. So after finding out bLegacy is on the road to taking a world record for me, I quickly got to work. However, on June 30th, bLegacy officially took the world record for me with a narrow time of 12:34, barely beating my time by 41 minus 7 seconds. Now keep in mind, bLegacy started speedrunning this game almost 2 weeks ago, and getting a time that beat mine that fast is remarkable, considering the fact that it took me the whole month of June just to get a time 7 seconds slower than him. And on July 5th, I finally beat his world record with 11:45. Let's go! Oh my god. Going faster by his run by, I'm not even gonna calculate, some seconds, as well as shaving at least a minute off my previous run, breaking the sub 12. But like any other run I did, improvement could be done, and time could still be shaved. But then, bLegacy beat my world record by 15 seconds. His run wasn't actually submitted to speedrun.com, and that's because of this. Oh! Bam! Let's go! Not even 24 hours after submitting my previous run, I unexpectedly hit the sub 11 with a time of 10:43. But a few mistakes in my run were noticeable and costed me lots of time, so it could be improved. At this point, it seemed pretty certain that sub 10 was possible. It was up to me or bLegacy to see who will get that milestone first. And let me tell you, it wasn't fun.
Sub 10, I don't know, man. That's hard.
Now this is the part of the video where I start complaining about how messed up this game is. There are 3 main factors that makes this game really difficult to get sub 10. Since this is a random seed, you have to have your fingers crossed and hope that each biome has already 24 pre-spawn shards ready for you to collect. The hard part is that you have to hope that all 4 biomes, excluding lava, has a sufficient amount of shards coexisting in that region. That is known as the perfect seed, and as of the release date of this video, none of them have been found. So now we have to rely on the shard spawned in a time range, meaning it could spawn between 2 set times. Now I don't know the actual variable, but I do know that it is random and can be either very fast or very slow. For some reason, I always get the very slow one. This factor severely impacts the grinding part, as it is theoretically impossible to have 48 shards spawn in each biome, since 24 is needed for the hammer, and another 24 for the bonus hammer, which requires 24 of each shard. Now saws. Oh god. Saws. Now saws are spawned from the spikes of biomes at different rates, and each one causes different amounts of damage to your character, as well as propelling them at different speeds. For example, the fire saw causes the least damage and travels the slowest, while the lava saw causes the most damage and travels the fastest. The challenges of these saws are dodging them. You see, saws that spawn really far from you are pretty easy to dodge, but if they spawn from a spike that is 2 blocks away from you, they're physically impossible to dodge, especially if they're like a poison or anything above it. While you can take a few shots from fire saws, ice saws can 3-shot you, poison can 2-shot, while shadow and lava can all 1-shot you. And dying to either one of them basically means the run is dead. And I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me. Oh, thank goodness about it. Oh my god. this game. Now those three factors had a huge impact in the amount of time getting sub 10. Before achieving sub 11, runs were submitted that had an improvement of at least a minute, but now, between 10 to 11 minutes, they were improved in very small amounts.
What? You just one-tapped me?
That's the wrong one! How am I still alive? Oh! Alright. 4 days after my sub 11 run, I cut off 20 seconds, getting a 10:23, a new world record but not the sub 10, and could still be improved. After this run, we both kept grinding, hours and hours of total playtime, increasing every second as we creep our way towards breaking 10 minutes. I grinded so long that I started streaming on Twitch because I was just so bored that I had no one to talk to. Which you should follow, by the way, at twitch.tv/OfficialBlooms. That's twitch.tv/OfficialBlooms. That's twitch.tv/OfficialBlooms. Once again, it's twitch.tv/. Then, on July 25th, B-Legacy did it once again. B-Legacy beat my world record by a narrow gap of 3 seconds, getting a 10:20 and a world record, but still could be improved since it is not a sub 10. Now it was all up to me to end this competition. Time to end the suffering. I'm so done. Oh my god. The finger pains. My finger so much. The desk smashing. Frick. The mental breakdowns that we both endured. If that happens one more time, I'm gonna flip my desk. I'm gonna flip my finger. Time to end the suffering me and B-Legacy have gone through for the past 2 months. All I have to do is do good in lava. No. Alright, well that sucks, but the sub 10 is still achievable. I just need to do super well. I just cannot die one more time. Stop! Spawning! Oh my god, this is the closest I've ever been. No, I'm not getting it. I'm so sorry, guys. Wait, where is it? Oh my god, it's right here. A 10:07. I'll take it. Sadly, not the sub 10. That was the best time and a new world record. But sub 10 was right in front of me, and I really messed up badly in that lava biome. A huge disappointment. Then, on August 1st, it finally happened. After hours of rapid clicking and desk smashing, the sub 10 was finally achieved. Yeah, no, it wasn't me. It was B-Legacy. B-Legacy beat the game with an astonishing time of 9:39, beating my world record by this number of seconds. It took exactly 2 months to beat the game in under 10 minutes. And now it has been achieved by the one and only B-Legacy. In conclusion, geometry box speedrunning has come quite a long way. From when Painted Wolf finished the first speedrun with 30 minutes, to B-Legacy doing it in almost a third of the time. It is truly remarkable how far the G-Box speedrunning community has come and achieved the impossible. Will the sub 9 be broken? That means you will have to get the perfect RNG in the world seed, shard spawn rate, and hoping the saws won't spawn next to you. So is it possible?